everybody. Welcome back to another weekly Monday Live where we talk about game news and just chat because most of us are friends here, I like to say. Um, so if you're new here, my name's AK, and like I said, every week we talk about game news and just stuff like that. So I always encourage you guys to leave comments. I love to hear your guys' opinions down below. And let's pretty much just get right into it. I always gotta ask what games you guys are playing this week. I'm still trying to finish South of Midnight. I wasn't able to play it too much this week, but I am getting close to finishing it, so I'm pretty excited. It's pretty good so far, and I will definitely let you guys know how the game ended up being when I finish it. Overall, I mean, I like it for the most part. Nothing too bad. It's like nothing that would make me want to stop playing the game as of right now. Um, so yeah, but yeah, let's get right into the news. The first thing I wanted to talk about, we actually just witnessed on the PlayStation Showcase a few weeks ago. They announced from the same developers as Hitman a game called 007. So we're going to touch a little bit on Hitman and then touch a little bit on this 007. I think it's called 007 First Light or First Light 007, one of the two. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that game. So, Hitman series is definitely not done, insists IO Interactive CEO. And they have said that before. So, I'm glad to hear them say that, because at first I know they said it and then I heard them come out with this game and then I was still in question, like, okay, well, are they still coming out with more Hitman? Because I really like Hitman. Two-Toe Tom is my favorite from South of Midnight. That's funny. Yeah, they got a lot of characters in there. Hi Solomon, hey Ari. Welcome. So let's read a little bit about this. 007 First Light Project Fantasy, Mindseye. IO, that's funny, it's called Mindseye, and we just had a Mindseye game come out that we're going to be talking about later. But Project Fantasy Mindseye, IO Interactive, has a lot going on in the coming days, months, and years, but one key franchise of theirs has been conspicuously quiet, and that is Hitman. It's not IOI. It's not that IOI isn't doing nothing. That's funny grammar with Hitman. It did just announce that a co-op mode is in the works for the games, and Mads Mikkelsen will reprise his iconic casino role as exclusive target. But as for new Hitman games, the franchise has officially been on hiatus since 2023, which isn't that long. I mean, I guess it's only like a couple years. Updates aside, it seems like IOI might be getting a touch too busy to give Agent 47 more major work. So I asked Hakan Abrak, CEO of IO Interactive, if that was the case when we sat down for an interview this past weekend following the revival of 007 First Light. I didn't know they had a game before. I mean, I guess I assumed that like James Bond would have a game, but I guess I've never played it. And he reassured me that Agent 47 was still on active duty. Hey Tay, how's it going? Welcome back. The Hitman series is definitely not done, Abrek said. We're not done with Hitman. IO has been synonymous with Hitman despite the other IPs we have done. I need to look into other games that IO Interactive has made. Besides Hitman, I'm not too familiar with their company, so we might do that briefly after this. Has been synonymous with Hitman despite other IPs we have done. We absolutely are proud, grateful, and happy with Hitman, but obviously doing another IP, Project Fantasy, and doing Bond, it takes a lot of our resources and time, sure, which makes sense. But as you saw, we announced the Hitman co-op, which was a big dream of mine, and we will be maybe in different shapes, but they will definitely be more Hitman in the future. I also haven't seen much of this Hitman co-op. I know they did release like new missions and stuff, but I also need to remember to look into this new Hitman co-op. I wonder how that would be. My question to Abrick was sparked by our prior discussion of the differences between Agent 47 and James Bond. Though IO Interactive's espionage pedigree is certainly what led to the studio being trusted with Bond license to kill. The two heroes are quite different in practice. Bond leans more towards action, with Agent 47 preferring stealth and disguise. And that's one of the things that really makes me really like Hitman. I love stealth types games, even with games that like it gives you an option between going the stealth way versus going, guns a blazing. I always choose the stealth way. And I guess the first game that I think of is like Assassin's Creed. I mean, I feel like with that game they want you to take more of a stealthy option, or even like Ghost of Gote that's coming out or something. I feel like they want you to take the more stealth option, but it's always an option to go in guns a blazing. But I think that's one of the things that really makes me like the Hitman series and franchise and stuff like that. And while Bond certainly has a classy sense of humor, the Hitman games are renowned for being, well, pretty silly. I mean, I guess. I guess they have like a bunch of disguises and stuff. Agent 47 dresses up like a flamingo mascot suit at one point, for Pete's sake. So will 007 First Light have the Hitman flavor? Yes, Abrick, but it will all have a tone all on its own, sure. It is very important to get the humor right. In Denmark, we love dark humor and the silliness because it takes away from the seriousness of being an assassin. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Bond is different. Bond, the humor is first of all very British. And the humor there is supported. Oh my gosh, I can't read today. And the humor there is to support the energy and his personality, which is much more front and center. So I will say less silly. It's not flamingo disguises, as you said, but it's still entertaining. I can't wait to see more gameplay of this game. And it's a game that plays differently. It emphasizes more action for sure, and the structure of Bond is more like it's breathing more. There are more linear parts where you have to spectacle moments and exotic vehicles, and then we also give space in Bond to open up a bit and breathe more. So I guess they're kind of just saying the same thing. It's a different dynamicism, because we want to make something that feels more Bond fantasy. So it's definitely not a reskin of Hitman. But I also feel that people will see IO Interactive. That is a game made by Interactive. But they will also see that this game is something else. It's something that's true to what we are hoping to deliver, 360, an ultimate Bond experience. Are any of you guys fans of James Bond? I mean, I feel like James Bond is always, like, for me, one of those characters that, like, I've heard a lot about. But I don't know if I'd necessarily say, like, I am like a die-hard fan of James Bond. Oh, I did not know. Wait, hold on, let me. Hopefully they can rotate between the two. I like Stealth 2. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I mean, it doesn't seem like they're giving up on Hitman at all, so. I don't know why, but I just now realized, because I'm looking up the IO Interactive page. Like I said, I was going to see what games they made. But they made Mindseye, and we're going to talk about them a little bit later, like I said. But they are under major fire right now. So yeah, they made the Hitman series. Never heard Kane and Lynch, Mini Ninjas, Kane and Lynch, Hitman, Freedom Fighters, and yeah, mainly Hitman. What the heck is going on? Yeah. So these are their biggest games they're working on right now. These are their legacy games. So I feel like pretty much they made Hitman, and then they just came out with this new IP, Mindseye. And then I guess Project Fantasy, I think they just said that's, I don't know, just another thing that they're working on. A new adventure. It's so funny how these game companies just like name it just like a mysterious name, and then you come out and it's like something completely different. I mean, I guess anything could be fantasy, right? So I mean, I guess it wouldn't be too far off, but um, definitely glad to see that Hitman is still. I mean, it would make sense too because that's. I mean, when you look at their page, Hitman is their biggest game, so it'd be kind of silly not to keep doing Hitman. And I feel like Hitman's also one of those games like you could just keep going. I feel like there's a lot you could do with it. It's not like Call of Duty where you have to like do the same thing literally over and over. You could have Hitman anywhere. You could have them in space. You could have them in any country. You could have them doing anything. There's so many ways to like get creative with that game. So in a way, it's like those games, but it doesn't come out every year too. So I guess we don't get too bored of it. Yeah, I'm a fan. I like some movies, and I had 007 on N64 as a kid. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I never knew that James Bond had a game. I mean, thinking about it, it is like a popular franchise. I know he has like movies and stuff like that, but I've never played his games. But hopefully it's good when it comes out. I don't think they had any kind of release day. I don't even think they have a time window. Release. Let's see. I guess they just said 2026 will be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch and PC. So, still very early. I mean, we were supposed to get GTA 6 this year. They pushed it. So, they could always push it and stuff. And honestly, I mean, after what's happening with Mindseye, and you know what? Now that I say that, I'm going to jump to that because I was going to do it later, but honestly, I didn't even realize that the same company made Mindseye. So I think I'm going to talk about it next. But yeah, after what's happening with Mindseye, they honestly might push it back even more. So if you guys have heard, Mindseye is in some very, very hot water right now. It's kind of sad too because they announced it in the state of play. It was either in February or in March. They announced it and everybody was like, oh, this is a cool game. It did look a lot like games that we have seen in the past. Like for instance, I was saying it kind of looks like a mash between GTA 6, a little bit of Detroit Become Human. A lot of people were saying Cyberpunk, and kind of now is starting to look a lot like Cyberpunk. But yeah, so Mindseye becomes 2025's worst rated game as reviews creep in. Yeah, IO made Mindseye. Yep. I mean, I didn't even realize. I mean, I guess looking back, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess like I see it, but it doesn't even look like the same style as they usually make. Because even when you look at like Hitman versus like 007, you can kind of tell. Like as soon as I saw the world of 007, I'm like, oh, this looks like Hitman. But Mindseye, like it does not have the same comparison at all. So I was like, when I saw that, I was pretty surprised. But so Mindseye has been suffering immeasurably since being released on June 10th. And guys, that's literally 6 days ago, not like barely a week ago. This third-person GTA competitor is the debut title of Builder Rocket Boy, a new studio. Oh, so IO must be just like a publisher of them or something. I'm not exactly sure, but they were definitely on IO's website. We all just saw that. This game has plummeted in rankings due to it being wildly buggy and inherently flawed. Now that the game has managed to receive some reviews from popular outlets, it has been aggregated on Metacritic, and the score reflects the quality of the title. At the timing of writing, Mindseye has a Metascore of just 43, making it the worst rated game to emerge in more than a year. Unslightly, Mindseye has dominated trends on social media in recent days, but only because users are sharing clips of bugs and bizarre AI behavior in the game that was bolstered by so many ambitious promises ahead of release. As a debut title for Build a Rocket Boy, Mindseye stands to threaten the future of the studio, and review aggregation is a clear reflection of that. Um, yeah, that is. I'm wondering how that works, because we definitely. I wonder if. Wait, let me see. Who? Because I know sometimes it's like multiple, like people, but yet when you look up Mindseye, it doesn't even pop up on IO. Oh wait. Yeah, that's weird. I wonder if they're like, if one's like publishers or something. Oh yeah. So that's what it is. Mindseye is an action adventure game developed by Build a Rocket Boy and published by IO Interactive. So IO Interactive didn't necessarily make the game, but they published it. So I guess that gives us some clarity. I think it's gonna go the cyberpunk route, to be honest. Yeah, I was gonna touch on that a little bit. If it doesn't get better, yeah. So, yeah, on Metacritic, Mindseye has managed to secure a critic score of 43, generally unfavorable. The user score sits at a paltry 2.4 out of 10. That's crazy. To the score in perspective, the last game to score that low was Quantum Error, which I've never heard. A terrible title from Team Kill Media, released in November 2023. It picked up Metascore of 40, so that's like 3 points below what Mindseye is, and was slated by users everywhere. Yeah. So, kind of sad. I do want to show you guys some of the glitches. I did find someone on YouTube post a couple of glitches, because I hadn't had the chance to play it. It was actually like one of the games that I was keeping my eye on. So I kind of wanted to check it out. I did find somebody who put some glitches on there, so we're not gonna watch all of this, but let's watch just some of it. I just want to see a couple of them. What is this music? Oh. Why does the graphics... Wait. Why does the graphics kind of, like, especially, like, right here? Why does the graphics kind of... Or not this, wait. Like, right here. Kind of looks like something out of, like, the GTA 6... Not GTA 6, like, GTA... Like, San Andreas, like, older GTA games. I can see how the graphics... I can see how the graphics are very inconsistent.
Thanks to the care system, every phone and device cop...
Thanks, Lars.
Oh.
Hello, Charlie. Back.
So you can see that one happens a lot. Bro, I would be so mad. Those, okay, yeah, get off my screen. Those car missions, I know you guys know what I'm talking about. They can be so annoying, so if I, like, just blew up out of nowhere while doing it, I'd be so pressed. That's why I said it definitely gives, like, old, like, GTA vibes. The graphics look very consistent, even just from me watching that little clip. look very, very inconsistent. So I don't know. It's a bit sad that that game kind of went off the rails. A lot of people are comparing it to Cyberpunk. Like, the game's just not ready at the end of the day. I feel like it was one of those games that just like focused on looks, even though the looks didn't really turn out like they wanted it to, in a way. Like, you could see how they tried, but it just didn't work out. But if it's their debut game, I guess we can't go too hard on them. But that's why, in a way, we kind of have to respect companies for pushing games back, because if it's not ready, it's not ready, you know. And we'd rather have a game that is ready, that's worth the money, versus a game that's not ready and then we pay all this money and it's not worth it. But they are giving out refunds, but it is pretty bad considering it's their first game. But the game really did look really good on the trailer, so it's a little bit sad. But do you guys think they could come back from this? I think they can, and I think it like Tay said in the comments, I think it is gonna possibly, hopefully, have like a Cyberpunk thing where everybody hated it at first, but if they fix the bugs and stuff like that, it'll be able to come back. Let me see how much it was, because I didn't even see what it was going for. $60. Yeah. Here, wait. I'll show you guys really quick. So it's going for $60, and then the deluxe edition is $80. I saw somewhere, oh, I can't find it. Yeah, so I don't know. I think it'll be able to come back. Yeah, it is that. I definitely had my eye on it too. I might have waited for it to go on sale, because I don't know if I was like, oh, let me play it right now. But yeah, ratings are mostly negative. Not recommended. Mindseye is easily the worst game I've played since Hellgate London. It is an uncooked, half-baked mess with great cutscenes. Yeah. And that's the kind of trouble that we're falling in a lot nowadays, is like, people are really, really, really focused on the story, and I've talked about that numerous times, but the gameplay's lacking. We need some more fun gameplay. That's all I can say. Yeah. Oh, this one's recommended. If you like an absolute garbage with extremely high and unwarranted production values, it's hard to recommend something that fits in the description with more than Mindseye. That's one way of looking at it. Some people have more of a positive outlook than others. That's funny. Yeah. I don't know. Sad to see. It'll probably be better top of next year, if not the fall. Yeah, I agree. I don't think they're gonna just like completely trash it. I don't think it's gonna get the Concord treatment, to say the least. But hopefully they do try to revive it in some kind of way. Alright, this next thing I want to talk about, and it's funny, I was just talking about this game to someone, and I'm like, what happened? And that game is Mindseye, right? So, if you have been watching me for a while, you know that I was really excited for Mindseye to come out. It is a Sims competitor, and it hooked us all because of the realistic graphics, and it just did make a lot of promises. And I'm not saying it didn't keep the promises, but for some reason, the game just completely died out. And I was kind of like just talking about it with someone the other day, and I'm like, why did Mindseye like die out? Like, it's not a terrible game, but it's just something about it that's just not clicking. But it was all the rage for a while, and then it just died out. So I just find it funny because I ran across this article. Mindseye publisher dismisses plummeting Steam concurrence. Insists sales are better indicator of performance because it's a single player game. So, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about this as I read it. But Inzoi publisher Krafton has addressed an ongoing debate about its plummeting Steam concurrent player count, insisting that as a single player game, sales are a better indicator of performance. The eye-catching Sims competitor launched big on Steam with an all-time peak concurrent player count of 87,377. Krafton announced its Inzoi sold an impressive 1 million copies in a week, the fastest sales milestone ever for a game published by the South Korean megacorp. It rose to number 1 on Steam's global top seller list by sales revenue just 40 minutes after release, with CEO CH Kim at the time of Krafton planned to foster the game as a long-term franchise IP. However, Inzoi's Steam concurrent players counts has dwindled since launch, with a 24-hour peak of 1,477, which is a lot less than 87,000. The Gamer reported this week Inzoi's peak concurrent player count even dropped below the 16-year-old The Sims 3 on the Valve's platform. Now, I will say The Sims 3 is better than The Sims 4. Might be a hot take. I don't know. I think The Sims 3 is better than The Sims 4. But IGN asked Krafton for the comment on the situation, and it responded to dismiss Steam Peak's concurrent player figures as barometer of the game's success because it is a single player game. Inzoi continues to steadily generate sales as a single player game. It would be most appropriate to refer to the game as additional sales count, as each major update point as opposed to concurrent players count on Steam and measuring the game's performance, Krafton said. The focus on Steam concurrent players numbers has been become a hot topic with the industry in recent years. I mean, I guess that's one of the only ways to measure a game. So, with the number of developers and publishers insisting they don't tell the whole story of a game's performance, particularly for a single player games. In 2024, John Bucky Buckley, community chief at Palworld developer Pocket Pair, said our obsession with this concept of the dead game and player counts was unhealthy for the video game industry and gamers. I think it's a way of just saying if the game's good or not. I don't think they should dismiss it. And in April this year, Alex Bohl, production director on Helldivers 2, told IGN that Steam concurrents are a metric among many others. Sure, metrics are just, ways of seeing how it's doing, right? As for Inzoi Steam user, which do have significant impact on games' visibility on Valve's platform, remain mostly positive for all reviews, but are on the mix for recent reviews. As an early access game, it is not fully yet to be released, a point Krafton made in its statement to IGN. That said, early access is the only and this is something I kind of want to touch on too. That said, early access is only the beginning of Inzoi's journey, and in many ways, our work is just starting. During this phase, the team's top priority is gathering player feedback and continuing the development of the game with more enhanced features, improved performance, and overall immersive and engaging experience. We are thankful for our dedicated Inzoi community and look forward to sharing new content updates over the coming months. Yeah. So, what do you guys think about that? I would definitely love to know. Yeah, Inzoi fizzled out fast. Yeah, I was really surprised. I gotta wait for full access. I got mad when it crashed and didn't save. Hello again, more interesting gaming news. Yes, hello again, Matthew. Welcome. So here's my thoughts on the Inzoi situation. So, I don't really think it was a bad game, right? Technically, like the article said, the game was in early access. So we do have to somewhat keep that in mind. But I am curious, will it be able to gain that momentum again? I almost feel like they shouldn't have even dropped the early access, and they should have just put out like just the full game, but I guess they probably needed some kind of like testing or something like that with a bigger crowd. There were a lot of like aspects of the game that I felt like I had to get used to. And I don't know if that was just because I was so used to playing the game The Sims and like having certain ways of like doing certain stuff, and I'm mainly talking about like the mechanics, just like lifestyle stuff. Like I had to definitely get used to how fast, and if you guys watch my live stream on the game, I really had to get used to how fast like they were going hungry. That was a really big one. So like lifestyle stuff, the build mode was a little different. So it was definitely like a learning curve, and I don't know if that kind of made me not want to play it as much. A lot of people are saying that it wasn't enough content in the game, but they do promise to give a lot of free updates in the future, so I guess that will just come with time. A lot of people also didn't have the specs to run this huge game, because even with me, like I'd say I have a pretty nice computer, and it crashed. So I mean, it definitely has some bugs to like work out. Like I said, I don't think it's a bad game. It's missing something, and I can't pinpoint what it's missing. If you guys have any opinions of what that is, definitely let me know. I can't pinpoint what it is because it's not a bad game, but it's just nothing that will draw me back to the game. Like it's nothing in the game that makes me be like, yeah, like I want to play Enzoy, you know? Like I don't know, I can't pinpoint it. You've never heard of the Enzoy game? Yeah, it's kind of like Sims. If you've ever heard of Sims, it's just like that game. It's just the graphics are a little better. It's a little different. It's open world too. I was about to say that devs gotta stop early access. Give gamers a bad first impression. If not at least decent. Yeah. And that's the thing, like, I wouldn't say Enzoy is bad, because there was some aspects that I really liked about the game. Like, I really liked, like, going to work and being able to do stuff, like, doing the work. But I will say it did get repetitive after a bit. Because it's like, once you go there and, like, do it, you gotta, like, keep going back, like, every day. And that takes a good amount of time. So it's like, I just feel like it's something that they have to work out. Like, maybe give us the option to speed through, like, a work day versus, okay, like, now I know I have to go to work and I have to do these very specific tasks, like, from this time to this time. Maybe give us the option to speed through the day or, like, something. I do feel like they have room to be creative with this. And I don't think it's a bad game, though. It's just, they just need to figure something out. That's all I gotta say. We need to figure something out. You know? Yes, yeah. So it's just like The Sims, in a way. It just has some different stuff. That's the best way I could explain it. Speaking of bad games, though, not necessarily saying Enzoy was bad, but I don't know if you guys heard of the Mario Kart world. So we just got the Switch 2 released, and it came, wait, hold on, before I go to that, even when they were in school, it goes by so slow. Yeah, they need to figure out a way to speed that up. Yeah, it had the realism factor, but it's repetitive. Yeah, and I think there's ways to go about it. They just, like I said, they need to figure it out. Hey, I'm not a game developer. I give my opinions about games. That's about it. But I do think they should figure that out. But as I was saying, the Switch 2 came out a couple weeks ago, and with that, it released Mario Kart World. So I don't really have an article to go along with this or anything, but I do want to give like some funny like 2 cents about it. Basically, like, everybody is like clowning Mario Kart because they're saying like it's not worth the $80 like at all, and they're so mad because Mario Kart is just like, it's nothing new that's justifying the $80, right? But that's one thing about Mario Kart is like it's one of those games that you're going to get the same thing pretty much every time you buy it. There's not really anything new or innovative about it. I'm not really sure what they could even do. And I mean, it's like I could have told you that, but it's been getting a lot of hate on the internet. Cuz I guess it's pretty much just almost like Mario Kart 8 but new maps and open world. And I've heard that the open world concept like isn't even that great. I've heard some people say it's like annoying and stuff like that. But it's funny too because people are also saying the Switch 2 is just like not that innovative and is not really like worth upgrading from the Switch 1. So very interesting to hear that. I've even heard some like big Nintendo fans talk about that. So it kind of sucks. But if you guys have bought the Switch 2 at all, let me know because I'm curious what you guys have to say. Yeah, it's Mario Kart. You're not getting nothing new. No. I mean, if anything, you'd buy it for like the new graphics. If you even want to say that. Like, I don't know. Because it's like with Nintendo, it's like, are the graphics even that great? I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to knock Nintendo at all, but at the same time, like, Nintendo isn't known for their graphics. I've heard about the new Mindseye game and I've heard it isn't good. Yeah, we were talking about that in the beginning of the live. It's kind of just like Cyberpunk. Like it has a lot of glitches and I don't know if I've heard the story is good though, and that's something I'm kind of iffy about. But we're hoping that it comes back somehow. Maybe they could fix it. It's the same game with bigger maps, yeah. Because I haven't, honestly, like, with Mario Kart, I haven't even heard of anything that, like, would, like, new modes. Maybe a new mode, but not really new, like, mechanics. Like, it's all the same. But I'm also wondering what you guys think about, like, what do you guys think about games that come out year after year? Do you think they should still come out year after year and be the same game because that's what people like? Or do you think that it should be a game that kind of has the same concept, but like it's still changing so that way it keeps people engaged, if that makes sense? So like with Mario Kart, for instance, I mean, at the root of the game, it's always going to be a racing game. But should they change the game to keep people like on their toes, to say the least, for lack of better words? Or should they continue to make the same game because that's what people like? That's something that I've always debated, especially with like Call of Duty and stuff like that. And I always bring that one up to mind because they are known for putting out the same game over and over and over, you know? And so I'm always curious. It's like there are some people that just like the same thing over and over, but I do think that game companies need to find a way to put a twist to it. Don't let it be exactly the same as the last. And I guess you can kind of say that with Mario Kart because it's open world, but it's like, is it like, I don't know, like, does driving anywhere you want really add that much of a new factor to it? I mean, I don't know, you know? Yeah, I've heard the Mario Kart World news, but I'm looking forward to buying it when I have it saved up for enough money for it. Yeah, I'm not saying don't buy Mario Kart World. I'm just saying it's not, I don't know if it's really like you have to buy it right now. I think it's Mario Kart, right? I think it's good for party games. I think it's good for group settings and stuff like that. Have I bought the Switch 2? Not yet. It's only cool for sports games. Did I even buy it? For my Switch 1, I don't even think I bought any sports games for my Switch 1. Mostly, most of the games I bought for the Switch was mostly like, so there was some Mario games. I had like Mario Party, Mario Kart, and then like Luigi's Mansion, and then like Animal Crossing. But on my Wii, like Wii was really good for the sports games. I'm not, like Wii definitely had a lot of sports games for me because you had like what Wii Sports, then you had like they had a bunch of different ones like that. I can't even think of them off the top of my head, but it was definitely Wii Sports. They had Wii Sports Resorts. I had both of those. Well, I did buy the Nintendo Switch 2 a week and a half for $799.99, which was the last one, and I only got the standard one. Plus, it came with some Nintendo Switch ones. Oh, that's good. You got some games with this. So, do you like it so far? Yeah, definitely. This is not me telling you don't buy the Switch 2. I mean, 100%. If you have the money for it, like buy it. I just don't know, like if you don't have the money for it right now, I wouldn't like go rush to buy it right now. I feel like you have some time. That's just what I'm saying. But I just think also too it's funny that what people are saying about Mario Kart. I just don't know if it's a big rush to get it. That's good you like it. That's good. All right, so here also too another game I want to touch on, and this is actually on the Switch that I'm actually kind of excited for. So the same people who made Stardew Valley is making another game. So the company is Concerned Ape. So they says the world of Haunted Chocolatier will be even larger than Stardew Valley. So I've never even like heard that they were coming out with a game. So Stardew Valley creator Eric Concerned Ape Barham has confirmed his upcoming game Haunted Chocolatier is larger than the already sizable Stardew Valley. If you guys play Stardew Valley, definitely let me know. It's a really good game. Well, it's a good cozy game. If you're into those kind of games, I highly recommend it. I always like playing it just like when I'm watching TV or something like that. How much bigger or in which way is it bigger? Sorry, Barbone didn't elaborate. The world of Haunted Chocolatier is larger than Stardew Valley, is the full extent of his message. But if he's referring to the length of the game, however, how long to beat, has a average Stardew Valley playtime listed over 50 hours, and I feel like it could be more than that because there's a lot to do in that game. Yeah, like I said, and that's just for the main story. And around 168 hours for a completionist run. And yeah, it's a lot. It's like one of those games where you have to like collect a lot and stuff like that. Perhaps unsurprisingly then, these 10 words sent a ripple of excitement through his fans' communities, with one explaining, Concerned Ape, stop teasing. I mean, don't stop teasing. I mean, I don't know, I'm so excited, but I don't want you to rush. Take your sweet blank time as we love you. Yeah. So basically that's also all he's saying. I did want to, and let's see if hold on, I might have to. I did want to watch this trailer really quick. Cause like I said, I am a big fan of Stardew Valley. So I'm curious to see what this is like. Oh, go back. Do you guys like these like styled games? So right now it looks almost identical to Stardew Valley. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's definitely a niche. I didn't think I'd like Stardew Valley as much as I ended up liking it. Um, I think it's more so because it's just like you kind of play it. Well, how do I make this make sense? It's kind of like something you do on the side, like while doing something else, if that makes sense. But I actually ended up being a big fan of it. Usually, I'm not the biggest fan of these like type of games, like the style or top down, really at all. But I ended up liking it. It's definitely a niche though, so I don't blame you if you don't like it. But I think it's really good. I actually really enjoy it. But this looks almost identical. It almost looks like it has a lot of the same like assets and stuff too from Stardew Valley. Okay. We are getting close to time. We've been running into this problem a lot lately, huh? Can't get through all the news. Let's see. Let's talk about let's talk about PlayStation some. Just cuz I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about it. Also, the Guest Trilogy game released 5 hours, and I bought it for $47.99, which is a good price for the game trilogy. Yeah, that's not bad for 3 games. So we were talking about Nintendo Switch a little bit. So PlayStation responds to growing competition from Nintendo Switch 2. So the reason why I kind of wanted to touch on this a little bit is because I don't see at all how PlayStation is a comparison to Nintendo Switch. Not saying one is better than the other, but I'm just saying that they're different things, you know? I feel like PlayStation serves a very specific audience. Nintendo serves a very specific audience. So it's hard to compare. I'm a fan of top-down games like Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain, the GPA Spyro games. I like Spyro. And Rayman 3 Hoodlum's Revenge games. Yeah, I think they could be kind of hit and miss for me. But yeah, so PlayStation, I don't think it's really comparable to Nintendo. But let's see what they have to say. The Nintendo Switch 2 has been released and taken the game world by storm, becoming the company's fastest selling hardware within days of release. I didn't know that. PlayStation has now responded to the growing competition from the Switch 2. Which we're going to touch on this a little bit in a second, but PlayStation, they need to pipe down a little bit. Nintendo has hit a home run with the Nintendo Switch 2, selling over 3.5 million units worldwide, with the Switch 2 bringing on third-party publishers and being more relevant to the younger generation. Yeah, and that's why I said it's not really comparable. Many investors have wondered whether this would impact PlayStation. PlayStation is designed for more immersive experiences. Yeah. During a recent Q&A with investors, thanks My Nintendo News, Sony Interactive Entertainment President and CEO Hideki, sorry if I'm butchering this, Nishino responded to questions about the Switch 2 threatening PlayStation. Nishimo stated that a catalyst in the market is great for the industry as a whole. He added that a new product like the Switch 2 helps generate excitement in the industry. However, the CEO explained that PlayStation has different strategy from the Nintendo Switch 2. A product like the PlayStation 5 has been designed for immersive experiences, which comes with innovation accessories like the DualSense controllers. I mean, you could argue that the Nintendo is kind of similar, though. They have like their own kind of interactive controllers. He added the PS5 level performance is required to achieve a great experience on big screens. And that's how they provide players with a unique offering in this generation. Yeah. So I kind of wanted to read that, but then there's kind of some articles that go along with that. Even though I own the PS5, there hasn't been a lot of interesting new games that have been wanting to buy. And that's kind of something I'm going to touch on really quick. So, yeah. Hold on 1 second, wait. The PS5 hasn't really given us what it needs to give. So, it's funny you say that because they're already focused on the PS6, which isn't bad. I mean, they're thinking about the future, right? But they're saying their priorities are on the PS6. But when have their priorities been on the PS5? You know? The Sony Interactive president has recently stated that PlayStation 6 is the top priorities from the platform's future. With PlayStation 5 now close to being 5 years old, players have started wondering about the platform's future. With the increase in cloud streaming and gaming, many players have wondered whether traditional consoles will be sidelined in favor of subscription-based services. Sony believes that cloud streaming has advantages. However, conventional consoles provided more control over network stability and are cost efficient. Yes. That's one thing that's super annoying about cloud-based games. Sony is prioritizing the future of the platform with PS6. So they're pretty much just repeating that. It's just funny. This PlayStation 5 has not gotten really as much attention as it needed to. And another thing to back this up, and I know I'm just going to do an article after article, but this is all going to come to a point in a second here. Sony reveals PS5 players have overtaken PS4 just now, but it remains committed to last gen users. So this whole time they have still been focusing on the PS4. Now, if you still have a PS4, I'm not knocking you. It's hard out here, but they have not been like focusing on the PS5, and I feel like that's one reason why the PlayStation 5 hasn't been getting a lot of great games, is because they are still also focusing on the PS4. So you have to consider what's going to also run on the PS4 when you make PS5 games. Now, we have recently gotten some exclusive PS5 games in the recent future. Or, sorry, in the recent in the recent times. But really, up until recently, they have been releasing games for both the PS5 and the PS4, so you have to consider what's going to run on both of them. In a recent shareholder update, Sony Interactive Entertainment revealed for the first time that PlayStation 5 players are outpacing the PlayStation 4 players. For the last year or so, we've been working with data supplied by Sony Interactive that suggested the split was almost an indiscernible cut between 50-50, which is crazy. The specifics of the latest data can't be accurately verified, as Sony has opted to remove figures from a chart published to highlight the players' base split. Even with the numbers not being made public, it's easy to see that PlayStation 5 has now secured a substantial lead by PlayStation 4. But Sony isn't done with last gen just yet. We're committed to serving them. The recent financial presentation saw President and CEO Hideki take to the stage to deliver the following feedback on the PlayStation 4's resilient performance. The PlayStation 5 offers the best way for players to experience our content, and as such, its player base has continued to grow. These players are highly engaged, spending more on content and services than in prior generations. I mean, do we really have a choice? However, PlayStation 4 remains an important access point for existing players to experience our content and services, and we remain committed to serving them. I mean, it's good that they are doing that, right? And the PlayStation 4 was a great console. That's probably one of my favorite PlayStation consoles. The PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 4 were my favorite PlayStation consoles. The PS5 is not my favorite. I'm sorry, it's not my favorite. But I mean, it's good they are remembering that they do have this other console, that, because some people just can't afford to buy the PlayStation 5, right? Also, why would Sony be worried about the Nintendo Switch 2 handheld? Because they're both different kinds of fans. Yes, exactly. PS5 catalog is a lot weaker compared to the PS4, 100%. They released too many games on the PS4. Yeah, they did. I know the 2020 lockdown probably made things worse for Sony, but while Sony workers were told to stay at home in 2020, they should have thought about making the PS5 much better. For real, go off. So far I've only bought 3 PS5 games: Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Crash Team Rumble, and Final Fantasy. Yeah, those are good games too. Yeah, I bought a good amount of PS5 games. It should be more though. That's all I'm saying. It should be more. I feel like there were only like a handful of games on the PS5 that I was really excited about. And then there was a couple that surprised me, and then there was a couple I was excited about that let me down. So, but it's crazy how they are focusing so hard on everything but the PS5. I don't know what's going on. I understand catering to last gen players. I used to be one, but it's not like they don't have the resources to handle both. Yeah, and that's why it's not bad that they're catering to both, but like you said, if they're gonna cater to both, they need to put a little more emphasis on the PS5. They can still cater to both, but just also don't forget about the PS5. Like, where are the PlayStation games that were so good in like 2018? What happened? And it's kind of sad too, because it's like almost all the games we talked about today is just about how like it's not doing good. And I'm not really even the type of person to try and focus on like bad news, because I want to talk about some good news. I mean, I guess the one we talked about earlier, First Light 007, I mean, that seems kind of good. And like we're getting more Hitman, that's pretty good. But it's like a lot of games that are coming out nowadays just have been a bit disappointing. And it's not like PlayStation at all. I was / kind of still am a very big PlayStation fan girl. So it's kind of sad to see them taking this turn of not really servicing the way they used to service. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, I probably will, and it's funny because I was just talking about how Nintendo people do this, but I probably will still be buying like the PlayStation 6 and stuff like that. As far as like Xbox and stuff, I don't know. I feel like the Xbox would have to really impress me to want to buy it day one, especially because I have been just playing PC Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate, where you could just like play it on like the TV and like play it on an iPad, stuff like that. But the PlayStation would have to really impress me to get to want to buy it day one. But yeah, I don't know. I have more games on my PC on Steam than I own PS4 and PS5 games. Yeah, like I said, I've been becoming a little bit more of a PC player. As of recently, at least. Like, right now I'm playing South to Midnight on PC. The last game I really played on PS5 was Assassin's Creed Shadows. Right, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm probably still gonna get the PS6. I mean, because I think, like, just PlayStation is kind of my bias at this point. Like, I still want to critique them. I still want to share my thoughts on where I feel like they're not really doing good. But at the same time, I feel like it's because of, like, the PS2 and the PS4 that they're my bias. You know? So, I don't know. We'll see. I think I still have faith that they could come back somehow. They're still really good at their first party games and stuff like that. I would argue that PlayStation and Nintendo are kind of comparable with their first party games. I feel like they have a niche and they have a strong fan base with their niche. So yeah. But guys, that's not necessarily all I have for you guys today, but that's all we have time for. So I will have to catch you guys next week. I'm going to try to put out a Death Stranding 2 video this Friday. I know I have not been uploading my Friday videos, and that's just because I've been really focused on my lives. I've been really enjoying live streaming and talking to you guys. So I've been really trying to put my emphasis towards that instead of working to do these Friday videos. I feel like they're kind of starting to be not me, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm able to put more of myself into my lives and really showcase myself in these lives, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. And if you ever have any suggestions or anything, definitely let me know in the chat. But yeah, so I will catch you guys next week, and I hope you guys have a great week. Bye, guys.